How to Think Big in The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. Where success is concerned, people are not measured in inches, pounds, or college degrees, or family background. They are measured by the size of their thinking. How big we think determines the size of our accomplishments. One of the greatest human weaknesses is self-deprecation. That is, selling oneself short. Self-deprecation shows through in countless ways. John sees a job advertisement in the paper. It's exactly what he would like, but he does nothing about it because he thinks, "I'm not good enough for that job, so why bother?" Or Jim wants a date with Joan, but he doesn't call her because he thinks he wouldn't rate with her. Philosophers for thousands of years have issued good advice. Know thyself. But most people interpret this suggestion to mean, know only thy negative self. Most self-evaluation consists of making long mental lists of one's faults, shortcomings, inadequacies. It's well to know our inabilities, for this shows us areas in which we can improve. But if we know only our negative characteristics, we are in a mess. Our value is small. Here is an exercise to help you measure your true size. First, determine your 5 main assets. Invite some objective friend to help, possibly your wife, your superior, a professor, or some intelligent person who will give you an honest opinion. Examples of assets frequently listed are education, experience, technical skills, appearance, well-adjusted home life, attitudes, personality, and initiative. Next, under each asset, write the names of 3 persons you know who have achieved large success, but who do not have this asset to as great a degree as you. When you've completed this exercise, you will find that you outrank many successful people on at least one asset. There is only one conclusion you can honestly reach. You're bigger than you think. So fit your thinking to your true size. Think as big as you really are. Never sell yourself short. Here are 4 ways to help you develop a big thinker's vocabulary. 1. Use big, positive, cheerful words and phrases to describe how you feel. When someone asks, "How do you feel today?" and you respond with an, "I'm tired, I have a headache, I wish it were Saturday, I don't feel so good," you actually make yourself feel worse. Practice this. It's a very simple point, but it has tremendous power. Every time someone asks you, "How are you?" or "How are you feeling today?" respond with a "just wonderful, thanks, and you," or say "great" or "fine." Say you feel wonderful at every possible opportunity, and you will begin to feel wonderful and bigger too. Become known as a person who always feels great. It wins friends. 2. Use bright, cheerful, favorable words and phrases to describe other people. Make it a rule to have a big, positive word for all your friends and associates. When you and someone else are discussing an absent third party, be sure you compliment him with big words and phrases like, "He's really a fine fellow. They tell me he's working out wonderfully well." Be extremely careful to avoid the petty cut-him-down language. Sooner or later, third parties hear what's been said, and then such talk only cuts you down. 3. Use positive language to encourage others. Compliment people personally at every opportunity. Everyone you know craves praise. Have a special good word for your wife or husband every day. Notice and compliment the people who work with you. Praise, if sincerely administered, is a success tool. Use it. Use it again and again and again. Compliment people on their appearance, their work, their achievements, their families. 4. Use positive words to outline plans to others. When people hear something like this, "Here is some good news. We face a genuine opportunity," their minds start to sparkle. But when they hear something like, "Whether we like it or not, we've got a job to do," the mind movie is dull and boring, and they react accordingly. Promise victory and watch eyes light up. Promise victory and win support. Build castles, don't dig graves. Big thinkers train themselves to see not just what is, but what can be. Look at things not as they are, but as they can be. Visualization adds value to everything. A big thinker always visualizes what can be done in the future. He isn't stuck with the present. Here is how you can develop your power to see what can be, not just what is. This is the practice adding value exercises. 1. Practice adding value to things. Remember the real estate example. Ask yourself, what can I do to add value to this room or this house or this business? Look for ideas to make things worth more. A thing, whether it be a vacant lot, a house, or a business, has value in proportion to the ideas for using it. 2. Practice adding value to people. As you move higher and higher in the world of success, more and more of your job becomes people development. Ask, what can I do to add value to my subordinates? What can I do to help them to become more effective? Remember, to bring out the best in a person, you must first visualize his best. 3. Practice adding value to yourself. Conduct a daily interview with yourself. Ask, what can I do to make myself more valuable today? Visualize yourself, not as you are, but as you can be. Then specific ways for attaining your potential value will suggest themselves. Just try and see. Practice this. Practice being a big thinker. See the company's interest as identical with your own. Probably only a very few persons working in large companies have a sincere, unselfish interest in their company. But after all, only a relatively few persons qualify as big thinkers. And these few are the ones eventually rewarded with the most responsible, best-paying jobs. Many potentially powerful people let petty, small, insignificant things block their way to achievement. Here are 4 examples. 1. Don't let concern with trivia keep you from speaking successfully in public. Most folks are lousy public speakers. Why? The reason is simple. Most people concentrate on the small, trivial things of speaking at the expense of the big, important things. The person who focuses on trivial things is a flop because he concentrated on the petty, trivial, relatively unimportant qualities of a good speaker and failed to concentrate on the big things that make a good speaker: knowledge of what he's going to talk about and an intense desire to tell it to other people. Yet all successful public speakers have one thing in common. They have something to say and they feel a bunting desire for other people to hear it. Second example. Ever stop to ask yourself just what causes quarrels? At least 99% of the time, quarrels start over petty, unimportant matters. Little things, petty thinking, causes arguments. So, to eliminate quarrels, eliminate petty thinking. Here's a technique that works. Before complaining or accusing or reprimanding someone or launching a counterattack in self-defense, ask yourself, is it really important? In most cases, it isn't, and you avoid conflict. When you feel like taking negative action, ask yourself, is it really important? That question works magic in building a finer home situation. It works at the office too. It works in home, going traffic when another driver cuts in ahead of you. It works in any situation in life that is apt to produce quarrels. Third example. Negative thinking, resentment, bitterness, jealousy make people feel inadequate. The result is increased hostility toward other people. Rather than cooperate, the person did his best to undermine other people's efforts. Small thinking over a very small matter makes people feel he was discriminated against. He failed to observe the logical reasons behind legit decision. He didn't stop to consider the possibility that the decisions were made for his own good. Small thinking about unimportant things like seeing your name last on the department route sheet or getting the 4th carbon of an office memo can hurt you. Think big, and none of these little things can hold you back. Practice these 3 procedures to help defend yourself from thinking about trivialities. 1. Keep your eyes focused on the big objective. Many times we're like the salesman who, failing to make the sale, reports to his manager, "Yes, but I sure convinced the customer he was wrong." In selling, the big objective is winning sales, not arguments. In marriage, the big objective is peace, happiness, tranquility, not winning quarrels or saying, "I could have told you so." In working with employees, the big objective is developing their full potential, not making issues out of their minor errors. In living with neighbors, the big objective is mutual respect and friendship, not seeing if you can have their dog impounded, because once in a while it barks at night. Paraphrasing some military lingo, it is much better to lose a battle and win the war than to win a battle and lose the war. Resolve to keep your eyes on the big ball. 2. Ask, is it really important? Before becoming negatively excited, just ask yourself, is it important enough for me to get all worked up about? There is no better way to avoid frustration over petty matters than to use this medicine. At least 90% of quarrels and feuds would never take place if we just faced troublesome situations with, is this really important? 3. Don't fall into the triviality trap. In milking speeches, solving problems, counseling employees, Think of those things that really matter, things that make the difference. Don't become submerged under surface issues. Concentrate on important things. Remember, it pays in every way to think big. 1. Don't sell yourself short. Conquer the crime of self-deprecation. Concentrate on your assets. You're better than what you think you are. 2. Use the big thinker's vocabulary. Use big, bright, cheerful words. Use words that promise victory, hope, happiness, pleasure. Avoid words that create unpleasant images of failure, defeat, grief. 3. Stretch your vision. See what can be, not just what is. Practice adding value to things, to people, and to yourself. 4. Get a big view of your job. Really think your present job is important. That next promotion depends mostly on how you think about your present job. 5. Think above trivial things. Focus your attention on big objectives. Before getting involved in a petty matter, ask yourself, is it really important? Grow big by thinking big.